So, Chapter 4, Lesson 8 is Divide Mixed Numbers. Okay? Now, we want to scan the lesson and predict two things we will learn about dividing mixed numbers. Did you guys scan? So, here, we are going to learn how to divide a mixed number by a fraction, and we are going to learn how to divide a mixed number by another mixed number. Okay? Now, for the real world one, it says the deepest point in the Earth's oceans is the Mariana Trench, which is located 6 4/5 miles beneath the ocean surface. The average depth of the Earth's ocean is 2.5 miles. By contrast, the highest elevation of the Earth is Mount Everest, which is about 5.5 miles high. We want to write a division expression to find how many times as deep the Mariana Trench is than the average depth of the ocean. All right. So the Mariana Trench is 6 4/5 miles high beneath the ocean surface. And let's see, how about the average depth of the ocean? 2.5. So we have 2.5. Bless you. So now this is the division problem that is going to help us figure out how many times higher the Mount Everest is than the average depth of the ocean. Okay? The second one says write a division expression to find how many times as tall Mount Everest is than the average depth of the ocean. So on this one, we want to know how many times taller Mount Everest is. So we're going to start with the height of Mount Everest, which is 5 1/2 miles. Very good. 5 1/2. And then the average depth of the ocean, again, is 2 1/2. Very good. All right. Now, just as we were practicing in the past couple of days, we know how to write the mixed number as an improper fraction, correct? All we're going to do is we're going to take that number and multiply, and then we're going to add. So, let's see, if we're doing 6 4/5, we're going in that direction and that direction. This is going to be 6 times 5, which is 30, plus 4, which is 34. And what about my denominator? Stays the same. So it's going to be 34 over 5. Is everybody clear? All right. Let's go ahead and move on. All right. So here we're going to rewrite the mixed number 5 1/2. Okay? So 5 1/2, we're going to multiply 2 times 5, which is 10, plus 1, which is 11. So that's going to be, the numerator is going to be 11, and the denominator stays the same, which is 2. So my improper fraction for 5 1/2 is 11/2. So we're going to divide a mixed number by a fraction. Dividing mixed numbers is similar to dividing fractions. To divide mixed numbers, we write the mixed number as improper fraction and then divide as we do with fractions. Okay, now, let's highlight this. We want to, the rule for dividing fractions is that you will multiply by the reciprocal, which is the flipped version of the fraction. So the reciprocal of 2/3 is what? 3 over 2, right? The reciprocal of 4/5 is 5 over 4. The reciprocal of 12 is 1 over 12. Very good, because we're going to write 12 as a fraction, right? If we write 12 as a fraction, we're going to put that over 1. The reciprocal is going to be the flipped version, which is 1 over 12. Is everybody clear with that? So the rule when we are multiplying fractions, dividing fractions, is that we multiply by the reciprocal. Let's write that down. All right. So the rule is when dividing fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? When dividing fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. Now the reciprocal is the inverse of the fraction, which means it's the flipped version of the fraction. So the reciprocal of 4/5 is equal to 5/4. So for example 1, we want to find 1 3/4 divided by 2/5. The first thing we need to do is we need to change all mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 1 3/4 is equal to 7/4. Okay? The rule for dividing fractions is we multiply by the reciprocal. So that 7/4 stays the same. The division becomes multiplication, and the 2/5 becomes 5/2. For example 2, we have 3 3/4 divided by 4/5. So the first thing we want to do is we want to change it, the first fraction there. All mixed numbers need to get changed to improper fractions. Okay? So here we have 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So that's going to be 15/4 divided by 4/5. Okay? So now we're going to leave the first fraction, 15/4. The division becomes multiplication. The division becomes multiplication. And the 4/5 becomes 5/4. Very good. And then you just multiply as with fractions. So when we multiply straight across, we get 15 times 5. All right. So there's the work for changing to a mixed number, and we end up with 4 and 11/16. Is everybody clear?
Yeah.
All right. So for example A, we have 2 3/8 divided by 1/4. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change that mixed number to an improper fraction. So that's going to be 16, 17, 18, 19. Good. Excellent. 19/8. Then the division is going to become multiplication. Very good.
And you flip the 1/4 into 4/1.
Very good. And then this becomes the reciprocal, 4/1. And then we multiply like normal. Here,
Yeah, with the 1 and 19.
very good. Or not the 1 and the 19, the
4 and the 8.
The 4 and the 8. We can simplify before we multiply. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is
2.
2. 2. And then we multiply straight across. So we have 19 halves, right? Now, how many times does 2 go into 19?
9 times.
9 times. With how many left over?
1 left over.
So we end up with 9 1/2. On letter C, don't forget, you should simplify before you multiply so we can bring our numbers smaller, right? To divide a mixed number by another mixed number, change both mixed numbers to improper fractions. Then, remember to simplify before you multiply. Same thing. The only thing is now we have 2 mixed numbers. Which one am I going to flip?
Left.
First or second?
Second.
Second. Very good. All right, make sure you write this down. To divide a mixed number by another mixed number, change both mixed numbers to improper fractions, and then multiply or divide like normal, okay? Which becomes multiply. Got it? So, for the first example here, example 3, it says 5½ divided by 2½. First thing we want to do is we want to change both of them to improper fractions. So 5½ becomes 11 halves. 2½ becomes 5 halves. So we have 11 halves divided by 5 halves. The division becomes multiplication, and then we flip the second fraction. So we have 11 halves times 2/5. Very good. Then we will simplify before we multiply, and we end up with 11/5, or 2 1/5. Is everybody clear? All right, let's do now example 4 together. All right, so again, the first thing we want to do is we want to change both mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 4 2/3 becomes, very good, 14/3. And then 1 3/4 becomes 7/4. Perfect. Okay. And now we multiply by the reciprocal. Well, the first fraction, what? Stays the same. Very good. The division becomes multiplication. And then we take the reciprocal of the second fraction, which is, very good, 4/7. And then, of course, before we multiply, we can simplify. Very good. So here we've got 7 divided by 7, and 14 divided by 7 is 2/3. And then we multiply straight across, we get 8 over, what? 8/3. Very good, 8/3. And now we change it back to a mixed number. So how many times is 3 going to 8?
2 2/3.
Twice. With how many left over?
2
2, and the denominator
3
is the same. Very good. All right, so for letter B, first thing we want to do is we want to change the mixed numbers to improper fractions. Very good. So the first one's going to be
21/5.
21 fifths. And we're going to divide by
7/3.
perfect.
7.
7/3. I haven't flipped it yet, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're up way up there.
Okay. 7/3. And now we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, right? So the first fraction stays the same. The division becomes multiplication. And then the second fraction becomes the, what's that word? Reciprocal. Very good. So that becomes 3/7. And before we multiply, we can simplify. Very good. So 7 divided by 7
is 1.
and 21 divided by 7, 3. And then we multiply straight across like normal. So we end up with 9/5. And then that improper fraction gets changed to a mixed number. How many times is 5 going to 9? Once. With how many left over? 4. And the denominator? Stays the same. Perfect. Now, for letter E, what's the difference here?
There's a whole number.
There's a whole number. What do I do with that whole number?
You put a number. Put a 1 underneath it.
Put it over 1. Very good. So, here, we've got 8 over 1 divided by
5 over 2.
5 over 2. Very good. 5 halves. Now, am I multiplying yet?
No.
No, be careful. Slow down. So here, the first fraction stays the same. The division becomes multiplication. And the second fraction becomes the,
2/5.
what's that called?
No, this way. Wait, what?
That's what it is.
Reciprocal.
Very good. The reciprocal. If I can simplify before I multiply, I will do that. But can I do that here?
No.
No. So now we're just going to multiply straight across. So 8 times 2 is
16.
16. 1 times 5.
5.
Now, how many times is 5 going to 16? 3 times. Very good. With how many left over?
1.
With 1 left over. With 1 left over. And the denominator stays the same. Very good. All right. The average adult male giant panda weighs about 1 1/5 times as much as the average adult female. If the average weight of a giant male panda is 330 pounds, how much does the average female giant panda weigh? To find the average weight, we're going to solve the equation 330, which is how much the adult male weighs, and we're going to divide that by 1.5 because it's 1 1/5 times. We're going to divide by 1 1/5 because it's 1 1/5 times as much as the adult female. Okay? So here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change all mixed numbers to improper fractions. And then with the whole number, we're just going to put it over 1, right? So we end up with 330 is divided by 6/5. Now, with division, once again, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So the first number stays the same. The division becomes multiplication, and the second fraction becomes the reciprocal. Very good, which is the inverse of the fraction. Very good. So 6/5 then becomes 5/6. We simplify before we multiply, and then we multiply straight across like normal. Okay?